Yep, ready.
Hello, Tom Levecchia here with the latest edition of the New Theory podcast. We are actually at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Atlantic City, with no other, one of my favorite guests. I've done over 500 interviews, George Goldhoff, CEO of Hard Rock Casino and Entertainment. Nice to see you, George.
Tom, great to be here with you. Thanks for having me.
This is a special one. It's always good to interview people, but when you see them in person, it gives you a certain level of specialness to this. So I'm going to put the link to the old interview above and also below, because it gives George gives a great background on the business career, etc. But we're going to kind of jump right into it. So when we spoke last time, right, and there's something that really kind of stood with me.
Sure.
And if I watch the whole interview and I really unpack it, it kind of came back to be kind. And I know in a way, and like a lot of you, like people can say, oh, that's kind of corny or cliche or whatever, but you encompass that every day here at Hard Rock. And I want you to maybe unpack that a little bit more for people that are watching on how to truly be give empathy, be kind, but still perform.
Yes, it's a great question, Tom. And our company was founded in 1971, where we opened up the first cafe in London, England.
Oh, wow.
And the two founders, Peter Morton, Isaac Tigret, came up with four, we call them mottos at Hard Rock. Take time to be kind is one of them. I refer to them as universal truths because they're more important today, I think, than they ever were in the previous 54-year history of the company. So you just mentioned take time to be kind. The other three are love all, serve all is one, and save the planet.
Wow.
And so take time to be kind is absolutely, I would say, it's my favorite, which is to say, as I mature in leadership, it means something different to me now. And what it means is take time to be kind is to be honest and work with people and have that compassion and have that empathy. And sometimes compassion and empathy means, Tom, would you mind do I have your permission to tell you something? And Tom will say, yes, of course. And then you have a compassionate and empathizing conversation about maybe how they can do better or that they're doing great and, have a little bit more of that. So I think it evolves and it's so interesting. I just read a book called The Kind Communicator. And it's written by an author named Elizabeth Berry, who's an executive coach. And like most self-help books, probably like yourself, I have my Post-it notes and I have my highlighter and I have and I write all through it. And it really, how do you stay cutting edge and on top of your game? Well, by reading and really embracing the mottos, in this case, of the organization that has been so good to me.
Well, that's crazy. So 1971 to 2025, it's like clear as day, still holds true. I still love serves all. We went to Hard Rock Cafe before here for lunch, and I saw it. So, as a CEO and me as an entrepreneur, and I know we're like different level organization size, but you get hardened, when you get the employees that kind of respectfully just do not do the right thing, and then there's always maybe a pattern, and over time you get a little hardened. So you maybe, at least me, I might become a little harder, and then I'm like, not take it out on the new person, but you get shielded, you put a high guard up. But I like how you frame that, like, hey, do I have permission to? So how do you manage an underperformer with this empathy, with this? That's salvageable, right? If you got to manage out, that's one thing. But how do you manage through a situation with a team member who is salvageable, but you need to manage empathy, but they're just super underperforming?
Yeah, I would start from the very beginning, which is to say that in management we have the accountability and the right and to recruit, to hire, to train, to develop, and to coach. And so where did I break down? How was it that I recruited this person? How was it that I hired this person? How was it that I in the midst of developing and coaching, and they're still not where, where they need to be. And there's a certain percentage, and Tom, I would say it's a very small percentage, they'll call it 4 or 5 or 6%, and I call them rebels without a cause.
Yeah.
And they might interview very well, but they somehow make it into the organization, and you realize, it's like, oh no, I think I made an error here, and you move on. And the good news is that there's lots of organizations out there that they will fit into beautifully.
Correct.
It's just that maybe
not right there.
The chemistry wasn't right. It wasn't. It's not a good fit.
Yeah.
So, but there's a very respectful and dignified process.
Yeah.
And if you come to the realization that it's the end of the line, then it's a difficult conversation, but it's the best thing for that team member, and it's the best thing for the organization. And that's how I sort of rationalize it or think about it.
I like how you actually kind of separated, coaching and development, versus sometimes you're like, coaching is development. Well, they're really not, right? Your coaching is kind of like the how, and development is the what. So the fact that you separate that out is actually pretty, like, to me, it's pretty interesting. And I like that you guys do that. So let's talk about like the results, right? So I'm going to get into some of the philanthropy and some of the great things you're doing. But in order, you can't pour from an empty cup, right? You need to be successful. You have a great team, you develop a team. But, I'm going to probably get the numbers wrong a little bit. But you guys are hitting it, in my opinion, on all 4 points. Your F&B program, Curro's the best restaurant in like the country. Mm-hmm. Like, not just me, USA Today, New Jersey Digest. Yeah. Vinny's going to see it tonight. The Japanese whiskey's off the chain. The Wagyu, everything's perfect. So your food and beverage program is solid, right? Council Oak, etc. But then gaming revenue is solid, right? You're number 2. You're the only Brigada's ahead of you. Everybody else is behind you. Big names like Caesars, Ocean, etc. So you guys are doing very well there. You have great talent. Thank you. We saw Dave Chappelle and a few other comedians and other venues, other talent. So you're really getting the strongest kind of talent you can for that size of arena, right? And then lastly, I think your occupancy was like 82% in, I think, the second quarter, which is like the highest of like all the casinos,
of all 9.
and 86% in the second quarter alone. Like, so what I'm getting at is like, I could see having a high occupancy, but low gaming revenue, right? You maybe get the families or people that just go to the shows, or I can see the shows doing great, but not the occupancy because I'm going to go stay. Sure. How do you hit all 4 points? If there's nothing else, and don't get me wrong, we'll get into the philanthropy, we'll get it. This is what we need to know, because this is where the gold is.
Well, first of all, you've done your homework, Tom, so you really came prepared. You touched on a number of things, and I would just say it starts at the top. And Jim Allen, who takes a deep interest in the Atlantic City community and Hard Rock, Atlantic City, and grew up here and is from this community.
I think you mentioned that,
I mentioned it. He's the chairman of Seminole Gaming and the CEO of Hard Rock.
So he's the CEO of all of it. Okay.
Of everything globally.
Okay.
And he has extraordinarily high standards and expectations. And so we certainly don't want to disappoint our bosses. The other part is, it's a joy. I came here 3 years ago, and I inherited such an amazing team, and it's all about people taking care of people.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the numbers. You mentioned food and beverage.
Correct.
You mentioned occupancy, and you mentioned entertainment. Also, our team member engagement is higher than any of our competitors, or I should say anybody in our enterprise.
Yeah.
And also our guest reviews are off the charts in our surveys and everything. So I would suggest that's where we start. And if you you hire the right people and you develop them and give them opportunity, and they want to be here and they're engaged, and then you put the right product together. Yeah. And you have a great food and beverage and wonderful hospitality and terrific amenities and the right gaming. We have a great gaming, but it's not just about gaming. It's all of those things. Then the finances will follow.
Interesting. From a strategic standpoint, because like I said, you came at Hard Rock at a very strong launch. Was it 5 years now you guys are open? 2018, yeah. So great start, but like I almost would argue, and you may agree or disagree, you sometimes, like when you start from a lower baseline and then you grow, and in no disrespect to your predecessor, like when you come in and it's doing pretty well, you could like almost like F it up. Like if you make the wrong move or the wrong process out of the wrong people. But not only did you not F it up, but you actually grew it even more with a higher baseline.
It's a different set of challenges.
Correct.
For sure.
Yeah.
To go from, 0 to 80 is a set of skills, and then to go from 80, to 100 miles an hour is a completely different. And sometimes it's turning dials and getting into every detail and turning over every pebble. And not just every rock, and really getting into and understanding what makes the business, how you can take it to the next level. And so, we're not there yet. We'll never arrive. We are always looking and curious and interested and wondering how we can, beat our own best efforts and that type of thing. But hats off, I stand on the shoulders of those who came before me to get us to that point. And now, how do we go from there to the next? And we've had a tremendous amount of success. And, the brand is strong. People relate. You can see in the background, music is our DNA. Music is our heart and soul. And, community is really what we do well and what we live for.
And we're going to touch upon the community portion, which is probably the most important part of the conversation. But I do just want to touch on one more thing. Sure. In those 4 buckets, right, you get F&B, gaming, occupancy, and then entertainment. Was the strategy, hey, if we get some really great guests, that draws everybody, and then they'll gamble? Or I'm just wondering kind of how you did it, because like you generally go lean into one and do well into one and see some spillover, but because you're doing well in each point, there's a little more secret sauce I want to grab from you.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm thinking of how. Selfish. No, Tom. I'm thinking how to respond to that. I think of a integrated resort with 4.4 million square feet, 4,000 team members, 30 restaurants, 2,000 hotel rooms, 130,000 square feet of gaming space, a beautiful spa, and it has to integrate. Have you ever heard of the big wooden float plane called the Spruce Goose that was built by Howard Hughes?
Oh, yes.
And it had 8 engines.
Yes.
And they all had to fire at the same time for it to lift up off of the ground.
Interesting.
And so everybody really has to work together, and there's a series of strategies and then micro strategies within that. But at the end of the day, it's marketing, it's HR, it's IT, it's finance, and it's operations, the operations that we do.
And all those 5 engines have to
and all of those have to be firing on all 4 cylinders. So at some point, it's more of ensuring that the experts, because we've been allowed to hire the best in the business to operate this. So whether in any one of those disciplines, our leadership is so strong and so sophisticated. It's really about, my job is to ensure that we're all coordinating together.
That's amazing. And again, I follow you guys, and you guys do some great things. I noticed there's been a huge uptick in focus on community efforts. Like, it's not a mantra, it's not a newsletter thing. You guys are actually doing it. And I know, again, in terms of 12 days of Christmas and other stuff that you guys got cooking, what is your kind of philosophy towards philanthropy, and tell us a little about what you guys are doing with the community?
Well, it's interesting that you asked. This morning, Sharon Pierce, who's our director of PR and philanthropy and everything, she and I, and with a few others, it was raining cats and dogs. You know that because you came down here, and we were at a mobile food bank in a parking lot in Ventnor, handing out food products to the community. So proud to be able to do that. We were with the Casino Association of New Jersey and other other folks that were helping out and everything. And the line was so long, and for folks to fill up their baskets out in the rain. It was soggy, but I'll promise you, we were having a good time and everything.
Awesome.
And so that's just one example of our commitment to the community, but it could be Jewish Family Services and how they assist with the homeless population, or Boys and Girls Club with the young boys and girls in Atlantic City. We've adopted a school here in Atlantic City that we provide support to and resources. I mean, it goes on and on. Over the course of 8 years, Hard Rock has contributed over $5 million to the community in Atlantic City, and
let alone the economic impact.
The economic impact too, yeah. And so it's so rewarding to do that. I mean, we do that, and that really is our heart and soul.
One other question to ask, and God bless that you guys do that stuff. You guys do great stuff at New Theory and New Jersey Digest. We're always open. If you ever need us, we're always here. Feel free to drop a comment below if you want to assist, if you're in the area. What are the dynamic that's going on? And I mean, nothing against our colleagues in Vegas, and I know Hard Rock's going to build in Vegas, and by then I think Vegas will fix itself. But I think Vegas is in trouble. I was there about a year ago. It's not the same, right? Sure. So kind of like a little bit of Vegas kind of not being the same, and then you being that, hotel, resort, destination. I could really come here and stay within these four walls. I worked out this morning, had a great breakfast, great lunch at Hard Rock Cafe, Kura at night, doing a little gambling here. That I don't need to jump on a plane and go to Vegas anymore.
Sure.
So do you think, and I know you're a tunnel guy and focusing on what you're doing, but do you think you'll start seeing the benefits of Vegas's kind of retraction, or that's not a focus, and if it does happen, great. Where do you kind of land on that? Because Vegas is in trouble.
Yeah, well, so the average person flying into Vegas, I'm not thinking of LA, which is a drive-in market. The average person that flies into Vegas, it takes about 3 to 3.5 trips a year, and they fly in from Philly or New York or any of our markets. But their home casino is within a drive distance.
Interesting.
So it's a great question. Will they fly? Maybe less, because it's difficult to fly. The prices are more high in Vegas and that type of thing. We're not really a fly-in market. Sure, you can fly to Philly and be here in 45 minutes, no problem. Yeah. But it's really providing an experience, and it's really a resort experience, Tom. You have the boardwalk, you have beautiful beaches, you have tourism attractions, and if you don't want to leave the campus of Hard Rock, which is 17 acres, you just named it. You could go to the spa, you could go to the gym, you could have a wonderful meal, you could gamble, you can shop, you can enjoy the hospitality. The music is off the charts. We're investing somewhere in the neighborhood of about $40 million in entertainment this year alone.
Wow.
So you're right. You could come here and have a staycation and drive 45 minutes or an hour or an hour and a half and get that experience if you want to. I think Vegas has always been able to reinvent itself, and it will. And you bring up a good point. The newest casino on the Strip is going. Tom, I can't wait. I hope you get out there. And Joe Lupo, who used to run this property.
Oh, he's going to head up Vegas, the old
He's
Mirage?
out there now. Designing, developing, and constructing, going to be absolutely the biggest party palace in the whole world, and it's going to be an amazing property.
Do you find brand loyalty within the Hard Rock brand? So, for example, and I did say the Hard Rock in Tampa, loved it. Still got to make out to Hallandale. Are Hard Rock people, meaning when it opens, are Hard Rockers here and other markets generally going to go there? Like, do you see data to support that people stay loyal to the brand no matter where they go?
They're incredibly loyal, and something that has helped us that we launched 3 years ago is you're going to pull out your Unity card. Yes, there it is. So, as a loyal Unity card member, that you can earn anywhere.
Correct.
And when I say anywhere, any of the 350 locations in the 72 countries globally, you can earn anywhere and redeem anywhere.
I like that.
And it's so funny when this property opened. We just opened a property in Tejon, which is just north of LA.
Oh, okay.
And they had to shut down the highway because there were so many cars driving in.
Wow.
That's the type of response that we get when we open a Hard Rock property. There's pin collectors, and they want to go to the cafe, and they want to see what we call amplified service, because it's a different level, a different style of hospitality, and people get hooked on that. And thank you for asking, because it really is, it's an important part of the secret sauce.
And if I remember, obviously at first Hard Rock AC was not part of it, and then it rolled into it. And not that I'm a super tech guy, but on the marketing side, I did watch that a little bit, and you integrated seamlessly too. So you have a really good tech interface, tech background. The user experience is great. So I guess to conclude, maybe if you could give a statement, anybody watching, whether it be an entrepreneur, somebody who runs a business unit, maybe CEO themselves, or really just somebody who works in an individual role who wants to be their best in their career, what are some advice points you have for them as a successful CEO?
I think for me, and this is just speaking from my perspective, people before things. And it's the people that we take care of when they walk through the door. It's the community that we take care of on the regular. It's our partners that we take care of. And so the things really matter, and we could not compete without a beautiful property, a beautiful facility, the right technology, a great marketing plan, people that know how to take the finances and put them in the books the right way, so we're accurate with our regulators. But at the end of the day, it's when we hire the right person and we train them on the Hard Rock way, I think that makes all the difference in the world.
I love it. George, I'm hoping to have you on even another time, so I feel like we just scratched the surface. Thank you for hosting us. Thank you for just a beautiful day here. I really appreciate you coming on the podcast.
Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.